Hey everybody, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Before we get to the snow talk, which obviously everybody's still talking about even though the chances are low, I'll explain all that in a minute. Let's talk about something cool that happened this morning. If you're up even right around sunrise or slightly after, we saw these cool hole punch clouds. You could see them there on the satellite imagery. There's still some forming right now as I'm recording this. They're really cool. This setup today was perfect where we had a mid layer of clouds that had super cooled water droplets, and as planes take off and land and go through that bunch of clouds, they actually produce these pretty cool cloud formations we call hole punch or sometimes fall streak clouds. You'll see these forming to the west. Watch this one form and get bigger as it heads right towards the camera. Here's a couple more. You'll see another one form right there and head right for the camera. The way these form, and there's nothing nefarious going on here, it's actually just pretty simple science, is that the water molecules in these clouds right here is what we call supercooled water. It's water that's below freezing, but it doesn't have anything to freeze onto. So as the plane flies through there, the exhaust coming out gives condensation nuclei for the ice, or the water in this case, to form ice, and it drops out. And that's what you see there. That's actually ice crystals falling out. It starts a chain reaction. So as one ice crystal forms, a new one forms. It starts a chain reaction with the one next to it, so ice starts building out and it forms a hole punch. It's pretty cool. So if you saw some today, that's what you were looking at, and they look really cool on the satellite imagery. So let's get to the snow talk, because this is all anybody who's want to talk about. Good news, bad news for snow lovers. The good news, the threat has not gone to zero. The bad news, it's really, really low right now. There's certainly no monster snowstorm heading our way. You heard me talk about that last week. There was a lot of hype with long-range modeling and why you don't look at long-range modeling. But I will tell you the setup is still there for the chance of some snowflakes, especially Friday and Saturday. So let's look at what's going to happen this week. This is the cold front heading our way tomorrow. This front's going to push through during the middle of the week. It's going to take its sweet time. It's a pretty strong, I wouldn't say true Arctic front, but it's pretty cold air that's coming down out of Canada. The center of this high is up here, and this is what's trying to provide us the cold air. So here's our front moving through. You'll see it push out of the area. Obviously, no snow east of the mountains expected with this first front, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some snow on the backside in the mountains here, especially as we go into Wednesday or Thursday. So late week is when things get interesting. So we've got this big sprawling area of cold high pressure centered over Minneapolis. Another wave of low pressure forms on the front, which looks like it's going to stall to our south. And it doesn't matter which piece of guidance you look at, that front is somewhere to our south. There's just levels of how close it is and how much moisture there is. So if we go through time and we go towards, basically this is about Thursday, I think. We get a passing wave that tries to move through. Actually, it's not Thursday. This is more like Friday. I had to look at my calendar real quick. 21st. So this is Thursday night into Friday. You see the moisture sun is sagging off to the south and kind of skipping us a little bit. But if you look carefully, there was a chance for a few wet snowflakes mixed in there. Again, this is not a monster snowstorm setup. Certainly, the models have been trending away from snow in general, but they haven't gone away from it completely. So that's why I say as a snow lover, at least there's still a chance. It's not gone to zero, but there's certainly nothing in the guidance that would tell me we're going to see some monster snowstorm, which seemed like everybody was hinting at. And so here's a look at another piece of guidance. This is the European model, just so people know I'm completely transparent. I'll show you all the guidance here. And again, these aren't forecast people. These are tools that I use to put the forecast together. So what I do is I take all the guidance, I piece them together, and we come up with a forecast. Think of them as like tools. Just because you have a saw, wood, nails, doesn't mean you can build a house. You have to have some type of ability to take this guidance and build it into a forecast. Sometimes people just throw the tool out there and say, here it is. And that's not really the way it works. So as we go towards the end of the week, you can see both the Euro and the GFS, our big long-range guidance, shows some hint of some wintry weather, but there's certainly nothing overwhelming that looks like a ton of snow. There just isn't anything here that I would say, yeah, this looks amazing. It looks like a ton of snow. It just doesn't. It's just not. It's actually very underwhelming, and looks like snowflakes falling and melting on the way down. Certainly nothing that would look like accumulation. And you can see both pieces of guidance I showed you just look like that. So I showed you the GFS, the Euro. Let's look at the ensembles, which I'm a big fan of. These are the GFS ensembles. You can see the GFS is hinting at this Friday, Saturday time frame, and then Believe it or not, next weekend there's some hints of something, but look at the number of runs. Remember what I talked about last week? There's 21 versions of this model, ensembles, basically different simulations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 21 have it. If we look at the Euro, this is for Friday, Saturday, a little bit more aggressive. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 51. But look at the average. It's like a quarter of an inch still. So if I look back to the last run, so this is the short range version. If I look back to the last run, you can see same thing. This goes out into the future. There's still a hint of something there, and obviously early March, there's still a hint of something, but this is the one everybody has been getting hyped about. And right now, just doesn't look like a whole lot. I mean, while I can tell you that there's a chance we'll see some snowflakes, as of right now, the trend has been away from it. And certainly all the hype last week of this monster snowstorm was way overblown because of a piece of guidance that we knew was not going to be accurate. So even though I'm hearing more and more people ask me daily, what about the snow next week? And I'm like, there really is no snow. It's kind of a chance of flurries. So obviously, I'll be following this all week long. If anything should change, you know my rules. Pattern recognition is still there. We're getting into that time frame where it's either trending up or down, and right now it's certainly trending down or level, but it's not gone away completely. So I don't want to make this feel like nothing's going to happen, because there is a chance. I think there's a slim chance we're going to see some snowflakes here Friday into Saturday. But I wouldn't get too excited for anything significant. This looks like maybe nothing at all. But if we want to see something big, we want this to be a monster low that tracks right here or just off the coast and throws moisture back inland. And we want this high a little bit closer so we get big snows. As of right now, that doesn't happen. In fact, let me look at the snowfall forecast. I'll put the snowfall forecast. I'll go through the weekend real quick just so you can see where it's showing snow. Actually, let me look at the 6-hour totals just in case something pops up here. It's just nothing. I mean, this is the snowfall map, and I'll go through the weekend. That's just nothing right now. So that means whatever falls isn't going to stick. So hope that kind of clears things up. I will post updates throughout the week, obviously, and let you know if anything changes. But as of right now, you can get a little bit excited that there's a chance, but that's all it is right now for Friday into Saturday. Hope you have a great Monday, and stay tuned for updates.